I met a gypsy.
Yeah, and like that's the whole thing, man. As I really lost my way so bad in life that I tried to kill myself. So
With the drugs?
yeah, purposeful OD.
Really?
Mhm.
Fuck, bro. I never knew that. I'm sorry to hear
Yeah,
that.
no, it's okay, man. Just it's one of those things now that you look back on and you're like, you feel as if it's not something that, if it's not like something that's close to you or somebody that you know or something, like it almost feels like, I don't know, like it never would be real.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I just, I don't know. I guess I feel for so many people because I understand now,
Yeah.
I went through that. Like nobody knew. No one had a fucking clue. And I put myself through it, It was all me. I did all of it myself. People are like, well, probably those people you hang out with. I'm like, no, everybody fucking bounced on me because I was so, I was shot, dude. It was bad, man. I don't want to be around anymore. I thought literally probably 6 months ago, I thought I wouldn't be here anymore. Like I was checked out. I was just done. I didn't want to do
Dude,
it.
I'm trying to think like when I was fucking hanging out with you a bunch last year, like at the track and shit, and you were going through it then?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
Yeah, dude. Just no one would ever know, And so it's just like...
And still ripping. Rip it. You know how fucked up that is that you can be going so fast, faster than I'll ever go in my entire life, and you are fucked up on pills.
Fucking loaded on pills.
Oh, you're a cunt for that.
Well, the gnarly thing is that like it enables you to do shit still. Like the pill, like being like, I don't know, man, like just being addicted to anything. Just, I don't know. You figure out a way to like still do your daily life and shit. And it's fucking horrible. It's not a good thing to do. Right. Like, so yeah, I mean, that's where I found myself in just a really really bad spot, and I had finally just pushed everybody away. I had a girlfriend, I pushed her away. It was like, I don't, she poor.
Because it's like either her or drugs, essentially.
Yeah,
right?
because it came to a point where it's like, everybody in my family, only my family knew. That was it. And then, it came to a point where it's just like, I'm lying, I'm still fucked up on drugs, and then everybody's like, doesn't believe me, and I'm just like, fuck you guys, And it was just me the whole time. No one was doing anything wrong with Trevor, My poor fucking ex-girlfriend, dude, she sat in her room for probably 6 months and just cried, wondering where the fuck I was. I was loaded somewhere, And so it's just things that you got to live with too, Like I'm still to this day trying to figure out how and why I got to where I was, because to hurt the people
that are close to you.
Yeah, that I love,
But they say hurt people hurt people.
Yeah. That's what I told everybody. It was like,
yeah.
It's like, dude, if you thought I hurt you, like I hurt myself 10 times over,
Yeah.
And yeah.
Have you so you went to rehab, so are you doing like the 12 steps like
No, dude, I just was like,
yeah.
I got to a point where I went to a detox center, and then I went to rehab, and then I was like, I woke up one morning and was like, oh, it's either I die or I just like get a second chance at life. And so like, dude, I literally was just like, I was out that bitch like with a smile on my face. Like that shit was, I mean, dude, even like coming off of like Oxycontin and Percocets, like it's worse than heroin.
Yeah.
Like the doctors will tell you, especially what I was doing,
I don't think it means you're as fucked up as what you would think.
Yeah,
like
100%.
It's way more. I don't know. I'm not trying to like minimize it.
No,
but I'm not trying to say that it's like, dude, it's so
right.
It's just crazy. Like I think it's
because you also
it's very easy to like be very confused and very hurt,
and
your mind is in a twisted fucking state.
Yeah,
and you can get to the point where you're like, I'm fucking done.
Yeah, that's where I got. And that's the thing, because you're absolutely right. Because you don't want to beat around it, and you don't want to like not give it enough attention as somebody that's like, I get like talking about it or whatever the case might be. But in all reality, it's just like people people go through shit every day that you would have no idea. And I used to be one of those people that was just like, that could never be me until literally I fucking blinked and I was there, you know?
Yeah.
And
time's just a weird fucking thing.
Dude, it's crazy.
Like you can lose a lot of time.
Yeah.
And think it's, you know, like you said, you blink and you're just like months of being a fucking drug addict. Yeah. And it's like in your head, it all just blurs together. It's just this one state that you're in.
Yeah. And it's not like I was like doing bad shit either. You know, it's like people like
you were living still.
Yeah, like people associate it with like, you know, if you're like a drug addict, like you must be like robbing people or some shit, you know? Like, no, dude, I was a full-time professional motorcycle racer, like podium racing, like fucked off of my mind. And just because I just couldn't cope with how I felt anymore. Yeah. And I was suffocating that.
Yeah.
Until I just couldn't do any of it anymore, you know? And then after that, that's like when I obviously knew I like needed help and shit was when I tried to do that. And, you know, it's just like, it's crazy too, because like you look back on it and I mean, dude, I've lost so many people too since then. Not even people that were, that I, you know, not like a drug dealer or something. I'm talking about people that I've had my whole life, like friends and shit that like knew what I was going through and like didn't even call, didn't even check in and shit, you know? It's like, you get a better understanding for life and a very deeper appreciation for the people that you do have and the people that are, you know, unconditionally there
Yeah.
know?
They're through thick and thin.
Yeah. And that's something, there's a lot to be said about that, you know? Yeah. I think that's more so the important aspect of all of it. Not an addiction, not a mental health issue. It's just like having people around you. Yeah, I think that's because that can be the saving grace. And you can miss all that fucked up shit over here if you just had these people over here. And if you had, like, what I didn't do was I didn't tell anybody about how I felt.
And that's what I was about to say too, right? So, like Steve, like, you know, he's a guy that had no idea.
Right.
And if you called him, he would have. You know what I mean?
100%.
Like there probably is a ton of people that didn't know that if they did,
absolutely,
they would have come as well.
100%.
So that's also like a hard thing when you're going through that is you probably think less people give a fuck than actually do.
Absolutely. And if you just would, you know, pull your head out of your ass and, you know, like it's easier said than done.
No,
but
for
like,
sure.
You know, when you're in that position, it's like you almost want to feel like you don't have anybody because you just fucking dude, I hated myself.
Well, and it gives you like a justification
100%
of like
I get to still get loaded.
You
know, and that's the shitty part is that like if you would have just reached out or something, you know, like if you would have loved yourself enough to reach out and ask for help.
Heal and let yourself get better.
Yeah. And I was just, you know, I've never been that person in my life, you know, and I was more so just so embarrassed as to like what I had become, you know, because when you do that, then these little lies, and then these little lies turn into really big lies, and then you start really fucking hurting people, you know. And that was what initially, you know, I mean, I knew I obviously like I said, I was either going to die or I was going to like be here, you know? And so I needed to go get help. And it's just funny because, you know, you do it and everybody has their own ways of doing it, you know? And like mine was just like writing a lot, writing a lot of like poems and shit. That's what I've always liked to write in general. Like I said, me and my best friend like make music and shit. And like, even he was like writing me songs and shit when I was in rehab, you know. It's just like there's certain outlets in life that like makes you feel alive, you know. And I've found those again 10 times over, you know. And that's where I'm really, really excited and happy to be here. And I know now what got me to where I was, and I know how to not get to that place and stop it all in general, you know. Yeah. And basically not to try and put shame on how you feel as a man or not to find ways to cope with it other than fucking straight through it, you know?
And we said it before when we were getting a coffee, you know, like everyone's addicted to something.
Yeah.
you just need to be addicted to the right things.
To the right things. Yeah.
You know,
100%.
And it's a slippery slope. And, you know,
yeah, it is.
You can be addicted to fucking sex. You can be addicted to your phone.
Porn.
You can be addicted to porn,
dude.
bro.
The porn shit's gnarly, dude.
Crazy,
Oh my
bro.
god, that shit's crazy. Like actually, and it's like horribly sad. I mean, dude, we're talking about like, you know, over half of like divorces because like men are addicted to like what their wives won't do. You know what I mean? It's so sad.
Yeah.
We live in such a fucked up time, dude.
Man, that stuff is like, fuck, we got crazy unlucky. Like it's a fucking, it's a gnarly epidemic, man.
Oh, it's a horrible
the porn thing.
Yeah, and
like,
it's something that's
no one really talks about.
Nobody wants to talk about it.
Everyone thinks it's innocuous.
Yeah,
and not that big a deal. But like, man, we just grew up in the generation where that shit became a thing.
Right.
Like I remember being a kid. Being like probably 12, 13, and it was like Playboy mags and stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know, like your friend's dad had a stash in the shed,
dude.
and like that's where it was. But then it went from that to fucking internet crazy shit.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact that it fucked me up for a long time in like relationships and shit.
Absolutely.
As a young man and as a young adult too.
Yeah.
Nowadays, bro, that shit is fucking scary to me.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I can personally say I don't watch porn because I know what it would do to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just like, I don't know, man. And I know people. I know like close friends that are addicted to porn and shit. It's just like gnarly because they got, you know, I don't know, families or whatever. You know, and that's the thing. Like you said, everybody's addicted to something.
Yeah.
You know, and it's, I don't know. Some things are better off. I don't know.
Well, I just think it's very, very important to be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
And honest in your own life.
Yeah.
And like really try and pay attention and like really take stock of where you're at, what you're doing, what your habits are.
Right.
And like trying to have these positive outlets.
Yeah.
And like, so I talk about therapy, right?
Yeah.
That's one of the things that like my therapist would say to us is like, what are your outlets? You know, I play guitar, I do jiu-jitsu, I ride motocross, I ride mountain bikes, like, and I need it.
Every bit of that.
I need it.
Yeah.
That's a non-negotiable.
Right.
And like that's one of the things I love so much about my wife.
Yeah.
She gets it.
Right.
I can go do my things,
Yeah,
you know,
dude.
because you need to have these positive things in your life. You need these outlets because there's an energy. There's we all have the capability to like really easily fucking fall into shit that we shouldn't fall into, you know?
100%. And like with that being said, it's like that's how, you know, I think for me, it's just like I just want to be the example, I guess, for kids to know that like even when it does get hard, like you still got good people. It's just like, I don't know. Don't do what I did, right? You know, and just want to show kids that, you know, it's okay. You know, you can feel a certain way, but like just know that you do have people that care about you and you can talk about it, you know, because I swindled myself into like not believing that I did.
And that it's not and I mean, I know you're like worried about talking about this stuff, right?
Yeah.
But it's not a life sentence.
No.
It doesn't make you a bad person.
No.
Like this shit can happen to fucking anybody, bro.
Dude. Yeah.
You know,
Anybody.
and it happens easily, it happens quick, and it's like doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make you less of a person. It gives you some crazy fucking life experience that like not a lot of people go through.
For sure.
And it is a lesson, you know, to like really be careful.
Yeah.
But I mean, doesn't make you a bad person. Doesn't make you a bad person for the rest of your fucking life.
Yeah, you know, that's how I feel. You know, now it's just like, you know, being past it now. It's just like, I never would have thought that I'd be here now. You know, like I got to a point, like I said, where I just and so it's crazy to think that shit could get that sideways. You know, all on your own too. No one forced this shit on me.
Yeah, I mean, bro, like when you look on paper, it's like good looking dude,
It's all good.
model / professional motocross rider. Like there's fucking great shit that goes on, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that's another thing too. Like you can really never judge a book by its cover.
No.
You can never look at a guy and be like, man, Trevor Stewart's the fucking man. He's so talented. Model.
Just
like
hated myself.
Yeah.
You know, it's just it sucks, man. It sucks to feel that way because I love my life. I love myself, you know. And I think the most important thing, like I was saying, is like how did you end up here, and like what really led you here, and really dissecting that and spending a lot of time in your own shit.
Yeah.
You know, because I never want to go back to that place, and I won't, you know, because I do like fucking therapy with myself, dude. I sit in a fucking room in the dark and like just really, really dissect every piece of information in my head that got me to where I was, you know, and I think that's you know, really important to just not go back to that place. So yeah, man, and just having like really good outlets and shit, and like I mean, dude, now all I care about is like racing a motorcycle and riding a motorcycle again, and which is like really cool because I lost that for quite some time. Like I'd be out at the dirt bike track and I just wouldn't. I'm not even there. You know, I'm there, but I'm not. You know, and so it's just so nice to be able to like feel that in my heart and know that like I'm good and like I'm excited to ride and race and shit. Like I'm still can't wait to go race this weekend, you know. I'm really excited to do like the whole like I'm that guy on the e-bike. You know what I mean? I can't wait. I'm going to hopefully piss some people off. That's what I want to do. I want the fucking forum pages of every dude in Kentucky or wherever they are that always talk shit on me I want to hear it this weekend or whatever. Whenever, please. That's my favorite shit, dude. I love that shit. I live for it, dude. Trevor Stewart Vital MX forum pages are awesome.
Let's go.
Yeah, those are good.
There's a couple good Gypsy Tales ones on there.
Oh, I'm sure there is, dude. You're an idiot, dude. You don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, it's the best.
If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And to listen to the full 3-hour podcast, search Gypsy Tales in your favorite podcast platform or click the link in the description below. Gypsy Gang.